Hello everyone, this is Rosemary, and these are some embellished envelopes that I made. And I made these for a swap, but I usually find this very relaxing, especially when I'm between projects or I need to be distracted from one. So these are made out of scrapbook paper. And you know how sometimes you have a tablet and you want to use it up? One of the easiest ways is to make envelopes. So I'm going to talk about these embellished envelopes, and if you look at them closely, you could make them into postcards, which I think this would be wonderful for this time of the year in the summer when you go on vacation. Send someone a letter, what you're up to. I know it's kind of an old-fashioned idea, but I think people really do appreciate the written word. They just don't like doing it themselves. So this embellished envelope is this girl gardening, and I got this from Pinterest. It was a vintage magazine cover, so I cut most of the magazine cover off and just focused on the little girl. And then I had this little piece right here. It was just a random piece of coffee stained paper that it had torn. And then I got another brown paper. Like I said, when you have your junk journaler, you have bits and pieces of all kinds of paper. And then I got out my Martha Stewart punch. And there it goes. And if you look on the back, I have a butterfly to go with the vines. And there you could write your address. This second one is about going camping. There you see a wonderful area for addresses. And sometimes some of these papers, you can find them here and there. Sometimes this was Pinterest, because I look for printables and I will just print them. And if you look on the back, this was just one little rectangle of printed images, but they were very small. But when you cut them out and put them, kind of collage it, it's okay that they're kind of small. You can find these in stickers, whatever, and as you can see, this would make a nice postcard also. Same thing happened here, except this edge right here was a piece of letter format, you know, when people print letters. And I had that floating around. This was graph paper, was just, again, another little paper floating around. And so, again, gone fishing, very small printables. Actually, this one and gone fishing. And when you turn it around, the fishing hook, very small. These stickers are, well, they're stickers. And again, this is leftover paper that I just kind of put there because there was just a little bit of water there. And it continues the fishing theme right there. The fish are running away from the fishing pole. So again, this is another embellished envelope. Now this one was not made of scrap paper. It's from a map. And when you look at this, it's a map, and the printable came from Pinterest. This came from a card that my friend Merlene gave me. Same graph paper that I used on this one. And so I just cut it apart. And again, a wonderful place for address right there. You turn it over. This is a die cut, the suitcase, and where in the world. And this actually was from an atlas, a book. I found that and I said, oh, that's just perfect. And you may wonder that none of my envelopes are sealed, because in case somebody wants to put in the center of their signature, I leave them unglued on purpose. And then I have this one, which I made an envelope from some paper I had left over. And then I actually collaged this. These two are envelope liners from business, bills, and sometimes they are lined. This came from a memo pad, And the girl right here, this was from a printable, and this doesn't have anything on the back. I guess I could pull out my fish. So what I would like to do is to show you how I made this. So as you can see, I'm going to put these to the side, and every so often if I find a printable that kind of inspires me, like this one, I will look for bits and pieces of paper, which, being a junk journaler, I have a lot of. This is the lining of a business envelope that you can see right there. And I'm just looking, here's at bits and pieces of this paper that I'm talking about. And here is the memo pad. I love to use memo pads, and this is the last sheet of this. So I'm going to show you. And I think these are some envelopes I've made from textbooks. And I like to fold them up. And I'm going to use this one because most people would think, oh, this is not going to be, this would be hard to cover up. So, because I've done a little bit of thinking on this, I know this is going to go on top. And you see this? I want this ocean because this is going to be my inspiration right here. And so what I'm going to do, and like I said, I saw these, and most people throw things away. I don't. So here we go. And I'm going to put it, because again, I leave them unglued on purpose, and because I give the option to the person who receives this. So I just, usually what I like to do is just fold it. That way I don't have to go to my scoreboard, and I just cut along the fold. And I know this is going to be part of the beach scene. Let's see. This is going to be the sky. So, okay, kind of generous there. So all I do is just fold. As you can see, I'm just folding there, and here we go. So I now have my background. Now, and you're seeing it right there. Now, this is one of those cards, and you see this side here, this is going to be used, and this is going to be used. So I am going to cut this right here because I want the best thing about today. I want that. And I'm going to see what happens what this looks like now that I cut it out. Okay, this is going to be my sun, and I think it's gonna kind of work. I just have to decide what I'm gonna do with this. Is my sun. Now, here are the girls. I'm not going to use the whole picture. I am going to trim. All I want is the beach, because I am going to collage it, and I'm going to want it to blend in with the collage I have. So that's what I want to do. So as you can see, and for those of you, I don't like long videos, but I do want to show you how I start with this vision from this. So again, and I'm just cutting through this, and you can be as careful, as precise as you want. But all I want is this edge, because this is going to be the edge of my picture. So it's going to go like this. I could even lower this a little bit lower and use that little stripe just to add some more interest, or I could cover it all up. It doesn't really matter. And this one is probably going to have some kind of rectangle for address there, but as you can see, it's already beginning. So here we go. Let me get out my glue and start with the gluing process right here. So let's, and like I said, I use glue because I just like glue. It works for me. So let me begin that collaging. And there's my sky. This is my ocean. And you know, if you can use any kind of paper. Sometimes you can just use plain old blue paper. And I'm gonna, here are the girls. So and I'm going to put them right here, and as you can see, the collage, the embellished envelope, is starting to take shape there. Now this right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of color and interest by cutting apart this memo paper, memo pad. This is the last of my sheet. It's one of the reasons I bought this pad. You know how sometimes at the thrift store you'll find this stack of memo pads and you see something. So I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it like right there. Or maybe I'll put it there. We'll see. So, and then I'm going to get the other side. I love the little turtle. And like I said, just kind of around it, and you can use your distress ink if you want them to blend a little bit more. Maybe you don't want them to blend. It just depends. So let's see. Here we go. And again, I apologize. There's nothing worse than to see someone cut paper on a YouTube video. But I do want to show you how you start developing an embellished paper plates, embellished envelope. And now you're going to see that the seahorse, we're going to have to cut right here. And I am going to glue him right here. And he's gonna go right there. And that adds a little interest right there. And you know, I might have to save the little crab. I'm not quite sure. I know what. And this little turtle is, don't despair. He is going to make it in the envelope because he is just too cute to be left out. And here are these right here. And you start seeing it, the envelope is developing here. And, you know, if you're at a beach, one of the things you need is sun. And where's my card? And I'm keeping this because it's going to go somewhere in here. The best thing about today, it's going to go here. And this is my sun. Now, what I'm going to do is I want the sun's rays. So again, guess what I'm doing, but I wanted you to see, you see I'm kind of rounding this, so I'm not really, nothing is very precise about this. And I think sometimes that's what adds to the charm of some of these envelopes. They do not have to be perfect. And I'm going to say I am not one of these people that is, I am not really a random person. I do have my perfection streak. And so you can see. And I'm going to see, how does this all fit in? This sun, this big gigantic teardrop, I don't know. So we're going to see how that gigantic teardrop, it might get trimmed a little. So Here we go. This is what I was afraid of, this little strip right here. So I think the glue is still fresh enough that I'm going to lift it. So, you know, it's okay, it happens. Come on, you can do this. Still wet enough, so I'm going to use you guys somewhere else. And if you hear that tearing, don't despair, because the sun is going to go there. So I have now a turtle and I have some crabs, but this is where it's going to go. And as I expected, this is a little too big for my taste. That will work in this. So let's get that. Yeah, that's going to work. Now, I can do it like this, or I can get it up higher. And this would be perfect to put your stamp in. So I think I'm going to put it higher. And if you turn it over, you're going to see I'm going to do some trimming. So let me clear all this stuff out. Clear, clear, clear. And now I have, this would be a wonderful place for the sun. I want a place to address, for the address. And this is just, as you can see, all I'm doing is turning it over. And this would be just perfect, I think, for addresses. And you see this little address strip is also, you know how you see that line of the two papers I put? It is a wonderful way of taking the line off, you know, because this is, and now I want, let's see, I want this, the best thing about today. So I'm going to do some trimming. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if it's going to make it on the front or it's going to go on the back. A lot depends. I think I kind of like it right there. Just part of the envelope there. Right underneath the address. And I think I'll do that. And as you can see, the envelope is getting more and more embellished. And I can stop right there. On this, I can put something there, or I can stop right there. Now this brings me to the back. And in the back, I still have some paper. You see this right here? Well, I'm going to get rid of these stripes. And again, use my same technique right there, where I just fold. And I'm going to glue it. And as you can see, even though it's not long enough right there, it's going to work, and that little stripe is going to go with it. Like this. I can do it actually like that, because that kind of goes with it. And you're going to wonder, what about those flowers? Well, don't worry about the flowers, because I have these guys. And these guys need a home. And what I'm going to do, I believe, is they're just going to be individual little characters. For example, I want this right there. Oops, turn them around the other way. He's not falling sideways. And there's still some glue from when I took them out. Put them right there. The starfish. Right here. Put my little turtle right here. And yes, when I work, I have all kinds of paper. Now, this is just adding a little fun there. And now, I have this. I want that blue theme. And let's see, do I have anything? Did I use everything up? Well, it looks like I did. So, right here, I'm probably going to have to go look and rummage in my stash because I used more papers than I needed. And I'm going to look for something that will go there. Don't know, it could be something plain white. I might just get something there. I might put something yellow. It just depends on my stash. But here we go. This is my interpretation, and they're never going to look the same. They never are. But here is, this would be a fun postcard if you just did it on cardstock, and you could put your stamp right there, and you could mail it off to someone special. You could mail it to yourself and have it for your journal. And this is how what you can do to embellish your envelopes. You can just get bits and pieces of paper, find a photo or a printable that you really like, because that's the thing that's going to inspire you. And as you can see, this book page is almost all covered up, and it is, you see this? No one would guess it was a book page, and I like to use textbooks because they're a little bit sturdier than just your run-of-the-mill paper. So again, think about embellished envelopes for the summer, as this is Memorial Day weekend, and how you could make some to get ready for your vacation trip. So again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you again.